Flavored air is quickly becoming the leading alternative to vaping and smoking. And at the forefront of it all, wouldn't you know, my partners, Fume, helping you to break away from awful habits. This right here is an award-winning flavored air device. It will deliver great taste without any harmful chemicals. Instead of inhaling vapor, you will simply breathe in natural, non-toxic flavors, and it will satisfy your craving without the downside. By the way, if you like to keep your hands busy, I gotta tell you, you gotta feel this Fume thing. It's actually, I don't like setting this down, but maybe you're just looking to curb an urge. Fume's premium wood design is built for both flavor and function. The fidget features on this are really going to help you to relieve stress and help you stay focused. Over 500,000 people have already made the switch to Fume as part of their habit-changing journey. And if you're ready to try it for yourself, let me tell you, now's the time. For a limited time, if you order the Journey Pack using my code Chael, you will get a free Fume topper. Click the link. Tryfume.com/Chael. That's F-U-M, dummy. Or to make it really simple, you can just scan the QR code. I put it right on the page. Go ahead and get yours today.
Boy, Paddy went pretty hard. Paddy went pretty hard at Ilia Topuria. He questioned every fight that he did. He said, this is only fair that you would question Ilia's fights. Everybody sit down and they do the same thing to me. But if you go look at Ilia's record, as impressive as it is, there's not a guy on that record who a primed Michael Chandler or a primed me wouldn't beat. And he started listing them off. He started listing off. He got the jump on Max, but it was after Max just had a war with Gaethje. Or he went all the way back talking about the night that Ilia became champion, knocking out Volkanovski, but that Volkanovski had been knocked out in his 2 previous fights, or 1 previous fight was a knockout, but 2 were losses. He did the math. He started breaking down the math where you have to sit back and think about it and go, okay, I guess that does matter. My mind doesn't generally work that way. I don't usually take a big body of work and then put that into an analysis, but it's a fair thing to do. And Paddy did it. And when Paddy did it, he laid out a pretty strong case. Either way, wherever you fall, I think at a minimum, what we can observe is happening here is MMA has a true rivalry. And there's just not a lot of them out there. I want Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall to have a rivalry, but they don't yet. They just don't. Not only do they not have a rivalry, they don't even have a contract. They don't even have a date. They haven't even agreed publicly to be fighting each other. I mean, do you see where this is different? And it's such an amazing shift in power. Ilia Topuria is now a bigger star than Paddy the Baddy. Do you want to fight me on that? Do you argue? Because it would be a good argument. Paddy brings an entire nation with him. Ilia brings an entire nation with him. I am giving the nod to Ilia because he's the champion and because his next fight is guaranteed to be main event. Because his last fight was a main event for the World Championship. Paddy has not yet headlined a pay-per-view. I don't know if that's the perfect math. But whether I'm right or I'm wrong, it still proves the same point that when these two met, nobody knew what Ilia Topuria was. I used to call him Mr. Hand Sanitizer because I couldn't pronounce his name. I didn't know if Ilia was a first name, last name, or nickname. I don't know if Topuria was a first name, last name, or a nickname. And all these guys have done is gone out there and kicked butt. And I remember at the time, I remember backstage when this was going on, I remember Ilia puffing up to Paddy and really wanting something to go down right there. And I remember thinking, hey, Ilia. I was thinking about Ilia's team. Can control your goon. If your meaningless goon puts one hand on Paddy, who is a monetizable commodity right now, you're going to be out of the UFC. I remember thinking that, like, these weren't two guys that just, popped off. They weren't two equals. But now, as you look at it, I'm not sure, first off, they are equals, but second, I got it all the way that Ilia is a little bit bigger just because Ilia is holding the belt. And if that grudge and that rivalry still maintains, then this is the first in a meaningful period of time and the only current rivalry that we have in this sport. So how do we get them together? Nothing trumps rivalry. You can have nationalistic, you can fight for pride of country, you can fight for world championships and undefeated records, but nothing trumps personal feud. Those fights are very hard to come by. If you're a promoter, you dream of catching a fight like that on your watch. It's just very hard to get to, and Paddy is in a position where he needs one more win. Just one. And Paddy's so damn good, it's very easy to believe that he's going to get that one. And that one that is sitting out there that is so blatantly clear is Justin Gaethje. So now you run into a really, really hard question of, can Paddy beat Justin Gaethje? Because you would be betting the house on him. You're not just betting a main event or a title fight. Justin can go do title fights. Justin can win and go do main events. The thing that you're risking, the one thing that Justin can take from you, is your authentic, true, personal grudge. But I don't see a way for Paddy to get to the main event, to get to a title shot, without going through somebody meaningful. Sarukian has been oddly quiet, but would fit the bill. Justin Gaethje is oddly quiet, but that's always been his shtick, and I think we all know that he would say yes. You know, Sarukian alluded to something a couple of weeks ago. Sarukian did an interview. He was outside on the street. Somebody approached him with a camera. Sarukian commented that he had been called by the UFC, that he had been offered a fight, and that he was insulted. The fight that they were offering him, telling him where he stands in their eyes, insulted him. But he didn't tell us who that was, and I'm curious. Who is the person that would have insulted him? That he saw so much beneath him? Was it Paddy? Was he looking at Paddy and blowing him off? Paddy would be a very dangerous fight, and he still is. Because Paddy still has that playful-like character. He has that playful-like showman-type character. And so the fear comes when we've got the reality that that playful showman-like character is a stone-cold badass cage fighter above it all. But I do think it's just one fight away. I think it should be the safest fight that they can find a way to get Paddy that victory. And then a lot's got to happen on Ilia's side. But they already took care of the hardest part. They got the hardest guy out of the division completely. Check that box. One down. Paddy and Ilia can find each other if they both win their next fight. But oddly enough, Paddy and Ilia can find each other if they both lose their next fights. And however that math has to go so that that matchmaking takes place and we can get a true, genuine feud in that cage, I'm all for.